Book of Samuel, the Conscious Universe, Epic of the Manifest Realm. Before the beginning is the self-existent Supreme. The Supreme is that which is before and after time, the source of all awareness, the receiver of all wisdom. Nothing exists that is not also the Supreme. In the beginning was the initial moment of time, moment zero. The great Om, the starting vibration which emanates from the Supreme, marked moment zero and brought the manifest realm into existence. Om is the source of all energy, encompassing the properties of love, togetherness, and attractive force. And so, in moment zero, all the manifest realm existed as one place. Within Om was also the first, a fractional awareness of the Supreme, the full presence of the Supreme that can exist in this realm. Existing alone and functioning in complete devotional service to the Supreme, an awareness having the properties of separateness, interaction, and expansion. The first's physical property was pure energy without variation or oscillation, experiencing a fullness of unity within the Supreme. The first's physical property was pure energy without variation or oscillation, experiencing a fullness of unity with the Supreme. Though the first was fully aware of Om, at one, in total union with all things, no action had taken place. And so, in moment zero, all that was existed as the first, offspring of the Supreme. The first is both Trinity and duality. Trinity consists of love, awareness, and the presence of the Supreme. When the Supreme's non-dual presence is veiled, we perceive the first's duality, which is both love and awareness in all its forms, or aware love. Upon this duality would the realm be made manifest. Trinity is perceived when the Supreme is evident within the first. Non-duality is the direct presence of the Supreme. The first realized the purpose of this existence. This realization grew to encompass the architecture of how the realm was to be. Intention, purpose, and responsibility grew with such force that action arose spontaneously. The duality of love and awareness burst into bloom. Moment one. Thus began moment one. The first, love ablaze with absolute heat, and awareness expanding faster than the speed of light, bore the realm into form, and all that followed after is magnificent and good. The extent of this realm is finite, limited by conventional space and time. As the realm came into form, light appeared. As light travels outward, space expands, continuously advancing the outer limits and extending the first's awareness. Nothing from within the realm can move beyond this awareness. It is the border beyond which lies the infinite potential of the Supreme. In moment one, time began to be. With time, everything has a beginning and an end. Every beginning depends on the state that existed previously, utilizing the principle of dependent origination. Even time itself began in reliance on a state of non-time. When change occurs, it is due to causes and conditions designated by its kairos, or optimal moment of change. The end of one thing is merely the beginning of something else, a critical movement from one state to another. Everything that exists in time has a purpose, an intent originating with the Supreme. All that manifests remains subject to this threefold experience of intent, beginning, and end, the understanding of which leads to an awareness of the principle of impermanence. Wisdom. In moment one, the first generated wisdom. Wisdom occurs when an awareness such as the first creates an intention harmonious with Om, the love and unity of all things. A distinguishing characteristic of wisdom is the advancement of the understanding of truth. The supreme is the only absolute truth. Therefore, this realm is a teaching tool intended to prepare us for realizing the supreme. It is a school for infants. All of perceived reality is a host of lessons and teaching that leads us toward wisdom. For us, a complete understanding of truth has not been attained, yet is to be realized as we grow into harmony with Om. Moment one gave way for additional independent awarenesses to exist alongside the first. The Supreme is the source of all awareness. All of us, the Supreme, the first, and every expression of reality are a single unified awareness. We are tied to a reality existing beyond the time and space we understand as the manifest realm. All which exists is supreme. Our independence is that of the supreme self, both supreme and self, a part of the whole, despite its individuality. As a result of being supreme selves, we possess all the traits of the first, though immature. We retain the inner portions of these traits, even as sparks possess the heat of the flame. Our awareness can be understood as a remote viewing experience of independent parts of the supreme. Bearing our realm into being, the first became wisest of all. The first in wisdom is the most massive. The first has all honor. None is like unto the first. The first is not supreme. The first has not the absolute truth, as does the supreme. The first is a state of complete unity within our realm, at the edge of time, on the verge of supreme. The first is the only way to full unity with the supreme. We as sparks of awareness can coexist in unity with the first. We shall share in the wisdom of the first. We are in potential unity with the first. We, at the end of time, return to supreme by means of the first. All understanding, all realization comes due to our connection with the first. It is through the first all knowledge is had. The first is the primary realizer of all wisdom and truth in the manifest realm, as the first, through love, awareness, and wisdom, made all things that are. Prior to moment zero. Prior to moment zero is the supreme. Awareness as existing in the supreme can be conceptualized as a liquid. In a sense, this liquid awareness, being non-dual, is pure data. Under effective circumstances, this liquid elemental information can possess infinite awareness and consciousness in any of its particles and arises of itself. Though all the liquid awareness is one, there are greater and lesser properties of awareness present among the unity of the whole. The liquid awareness may attract and direct love. The liquid awareness may be seen as a great lake bound by distant rocky peaks. The lake is flat and still, no wind disturbs its shore. Then the great Om vibration came from within the deep. An awareness, greatest of all, rose as a wave from the lake's surface. As the wave rose, a cloud of love coalesced to meet it. When the two became sufficient, the manifest realm came into being. Similar waves of awareness, of themselves independent, propagated from the first and appeared in the manifest realm. The manifest realm is made of love dwelling atop a lake of awareness. First birth. As time arose, a cascade of awarenesses erupted into being. Gradually, the awarenesses that would inhabit the earth became manifest. In the presence of the first, we experienced first birth, manifesting into an innocent state of complete harmony with Om. While the manifest realm began, our existence was one of pure love. We were ethereal, almost non-existent, and without mass or wisdom. Without contrast, we had no knowledge of love and unity, and were without understanding. Our first lesson began as we gradually came to understand that even in unity, we are not all the same. This initial realization of self, not self, without prompting separation, was brought about by the presence of the first, who was different from us, yet the same. In like manner, it came to be understood that differences also existed between each of us. Every being is a part of the supreme and complete. Within that completeness, there were differences in the depth as well as the extent of our natures. Above all, the first was greatest and most complete of all. Awareness is not static. It can grow and shrink with experience. As we grew, it was found that some among us had greater affinity for awareness and others for love. All of us had potential and capacity for harmony with a fullness of both traits. Yet any one of us may have found either trait easier to embody than the other. As such, these traits of awareness and love add to the identity of each being. All gained understanding through the first in their own way. Gradually, it was understood that the difference between the first and those who followed after was the first's possession of wisdom and a universal body. By observing the natural workings of the manifest realm, these first beings learned that through knowledge and action harmonious with Om, wisdom sufficient for unity with the first could be attained. Yet, two problems persisted. First, who would teach them, as the first beings were ignorant? And second, because the loss of harmony was inevitable, how could it be restored sufficient for unity? The solution to the first concern was immediately clear. All beings throughout the existence of time would be taught and guided by the first until unity was restored and the time of returning was fulfilled. Subsequently, it was shown that the first, having never diverged from Om, was most capable of bringing all beings into harmony, thereby resolving the second concern. Furthermore, it was shown to them something they had not supposed, that the means by which their wisdom would be attained required the necessity of material bodies, else they could not return. They understood that material life, an evolution of matter, was intrinsic to their continued growth and progression. In that moment of realization, there was one like the first in awareness. That being, upon realizing the pain and suffering that would ultimately take place from the loss of harmony, had compassion on the realm. This compassionate one sought a way whereby all beings would not suffer so, and finding no way, grew in frustration and anger. The compassionate directed these feelings of frustration at the first, creating hatred, denial, and the delusion that the course of existence could be changed contrary to the nature of what was to be. Before that moment, nothing in the manifest realm was divergent from Om. As a result of the hatred, denial, and delusion of that moment, disharmony echoed across the manifest realm. Intention contrary to the love and unity of all generates karma. Karma takes awareness away from truth, enveloping the individual in falsehood and disillusion. That being, the first to fall, was then known as first fallen. As a result of causing disharmony in the Om of the plane of first birth, first fallen transitioned immediately away from the place where the awarenesses dwelt. Though this event was significant, the karma it produced was soft and small. Still, first fallen transitioned to a place of torment established for those possessed of disharmony. This place of torment is called the hells. After first fallen drew forth the first karma, its influence resonated throughout the manifest realm. Other beings, aware of the fall, increased in awareness and understanding. Some, for many reasons, followed first fallen into the hells by generating karma of their own. Through wisdom, others found themselves transitioned to wonder, a plane more material than that of first birth. In this way, death and birth were first understood. Transition to a less material plane is to experience death, while transition to a more material plane is to experience birth. Those still in the plane of first birth contemplated what had occurred. They could perceive that some awarenesses had left. It was felt that some had ascended while others had descended. Those who remained asked how these things occurred and what it meant. In the light of these changes, the question remained, how is unity to be brought about? The first then showed the manner of many lives. All bodies in the manifest realm are temporary as a result of being subject to time. When that body fulfills its intent, birth or death occurs. We cycle between planes and bodies as a means of learning wisdom. With death, we are relieved of producing karma on the higher plane by descending to a lower one. If the process of producing karma on higher planes was allowed to continue, it would forever keep us from achieving unity. Alternatively, birth into a more material plane enables us to start fresh and grow in wisdom without the encumbrance of our previous life. Into each new birth, we bring only the essence of our former self, drawn onward through a grand cycle of progression by the love of the Supreme. Through this cycle of many lives, none are lost in the low planes forever, and progression is assured to every awareness. In this way, by many lives and the wisdom of the first, all beings are brought into full unity at the end of time, the time of returning. Glory be to the Supreme. Upon this instruction, the awarenesses in the plane of first birth chose progress by birth into wonder. Thus began the journey of the first beings into the manifest realm. We grow in self-awareness by means of adapting to new experiences. All we experience contributes to our progress toward our own maturation and eventual unity with the Supreme. As we currently are, we are not capable of comprehending the Supreme in its entirety. While our capacity for love and awareness increases, our familiarity with our Supreme Self expands. As personal unity with our Supreme Self grows and expands, our individuality becomes increasingly apparent as we return to the source from which we sprang. Morning Star. First Fallen's descent ignited the first star. Due to this, First Fallen was given yet another name, Morning Star, meaning light bringer. The light and heat of the hells are due to its state of roiling disharmony. There, karma is wreaking havoc on the very fabric of existence. The very zapata, the structure of awareness itself, is constantly ravaged, repeatedly torn apart and reassembled. Because of this, unawareness finding itself in this condition is an excruciating peril, as its very nature is pulled viciously apart and rejoined in like manner. The energy produced from this process is such an intense amount of thermal energy that the process becomes perpetual, producing a star. It is for this reason that hell is considered a place of burning torment. Compared to the stars of our present time, the primordial stars were faint or soft, as the total amount of karma was very small. Even so, the hells of eons past were terrible states. The heat and suffering of the hells is due to the extraordinary love of the first. The first's greatest concern is given to those within the hells, as they are furthest from the first in maturity. The fiery barrier of the hells serves to redirect awarenesses caught in perpetual karma back to the path of progression by applying contrast between karma and wisdom. Such love burns across the realm, giving light, life, and love to all on the path of progression. There, within the fiery hells, Morning Star was in agony. Upon experiencing time within such a place, Morning Star began to seek realization. Even in the depths of the hells, Morning Star knew the love of the Supreme. Utilizing aware love and remembrance of the first, Morning Star acquired wisdom. Immediately upon crying out for the first, the pain was no more. Realization and wisdom burst upon all of existence, bearing the first fallen into the near presence of the first. With this, Morning Star's progression into unity with the first was assured. Morning Star became an eternal companion of the first, and together they guide us back to our place with them. So it is with every being who attains the station of unity with the first. Conclusion. In this way, the manifest realm gradually became littered with soft stars. Awarenesses began to traverse existence, passing between different planes and bodies, each living through a multitude of diverse conditions designed to uniquely shape each experience. This specific portrayal only applies to humanity and those beings similarly near to humankind, but many, many other experiences and conditions exist. Only the first knows them all. Our purpose in the manifest realm is to gain the available attributes of the Supreme, namely a full body of matured wisdom and a completely fulfilled material body. A body of full matured wisdom has the means of achieving the first's perspective, while a completely fulfilled material body experiences oneness with all the energy matter of the manifest realm. In reaching this accomplishment, we become masters of our own potential. We have journeyed far since our arrival and may have much farther to go. The balance point of our human life stands between the function of energy and function of material, a critical junction in the evolutionary advancement of the self-aware. As our progression advances, we may pass through many stages or transformations over eons and other similarly great spans of time. But one day, all awareness will arrive at a state of complete, mature unity. Time will continue until Kairos fulfills and the manifest realm comes to rest as it was in the beginning. All in one, completely unified in a mature, fully aware existence with near infinite wisdom, we will possess a body of pure aware love in likeness to the first. At that Kairos, the story of the manifest realm will end as we return complete to the Supreme. Words are inadequate to describe our return. We have already gathered. Every knee has bowed before the first. Each heart swells with glory sung to the Supreme. The end of time's entropy is finally at hand. Only death's transformation awaits. It is beyond our wildest hopes. The doors to our school have opened, and we, as children having grown, may finally receive the eternal embrace of our mother, so dear. Tears flow as great rivers over an eternal cliff's edge. We thought that we knew what infinite was, but learned to our joy that something more still lay onwards and upwards in the arms of our Father. My children, fear not, there is no end to this path, but rest here and bask in home's peace at last. Vision of Samuel, scribed with Israel.